I think some of the things that we're doing with child safety are effective. So there are some things we should all have by default, real table stakes around filtering, around monitoring for behaviors, having report, mute, block, all of those tools. I think they do work. They are really important, but we do need to go further, I think. So education for me is a key area where we can always do more to help kids and their caregivers, their parents, teachers, everyone involved in these discussions. So they all have the tools to kind of back up as well as what we as platforms need to be doing. The Online Safety Act, obviously now in force, and it'll be interesting to see, the rollout of some of that more robust kind of regulation and encouraging platforms to really take on their responsibility. So Roblox really has kind of been all around protecting kids online since we launched nearly 20 years ago. It was originally built for kids as a classroom tool that could be used to do physics experiments. So it's always had that kind of safety as part of its core DNA right from the beginning. Our founder has grown up kids himself, and he always wanted it to be a safe place where his family would want to be and would have a safe environment to experiment, play, create all the things you can do in Roblox. So for us, it's a number one priority. There's always more we can do. We're always launching new things, new iterating, using new technologies. So, for example, the rollout of generative AI has really enabled us to scale some of our moderation, to really speed up some of the processes, and just to really kind of add quality new things to our suite of tools that we already have in place. So particularly around voice chat, which we offer for some of the older kids on the platform, where it's really speeded up that process of nearly in the moment moderation in terms of voice chat. And actually we've now put that out open source for other platforms to use because it's just proven to be so effective. I think in terms of the challenges of safeguarding young people is just the speed at which issues happen, new trends, new technologies come out. Kids, there are certain behaviors that we've always seen kids engaging in that can be harmful, but people who really are bad actors, they will always be looking it themselves at ways to circumvent the tools that we have in place. So it's always about keeping our finger on the pulse, really trying to keep ahead of what the trends and potential risks are, and innovating at as fast a speed as we possibly can when it comes to all the safety. So we're always updating our policies and the way that we sort of look at issues within Roblox. We have a truly cross-functional approach to these things. So we have a group that meets bi-weekly that has people from all different teams across the organization where we sit and we will focus on a particular real world event, for example, that's happening, and making sure that our policies are robust and our response is going to be robust should those things appear on the platform, for example. Um, we work really closely with safety partners, safety organizations, digital parenting organizations all over the world. And so from that, we kind of are fed new emerging threats and trends, things that they're seeing from the helplines, for example, if they're starting to see particular types of issues that we then feed back in. So I'm able to act as like a conduit to make sure that our product teams and our policy teams are aware of these. So as we're kind of constantly iterating, whether it be things like updating chat filters, sometimes there might be a new trendy word that comes out that might have double meanings that maybe haven't been picked up. So it's just really helpful to always be feeding in those things, just to try and, as I say, keep us as abreast of those sort of issues as possible. So, an area that I'm super passionate about is youth engagement and participation, but doing it in a really meaningful way. So, I'm very proud at Roblox that we go out regularly, we meet with young people, we meet with parents and caregivers, and we listen to them because we can make assumptions about the tools that we need, about what this experience is like. But until we actually go and ask those questions, we can't truly be responsive to what their needs are, particularly with teenagers. Quite often, what they're worried about is not what adults think that they're going to be worried about. So, I think to really provide those safe, welcoming spaces, we have to have them at the table. We have to give them a voice and not just in a tokenistic way. I really hate it when they're like, hey, we have a youth board, but then nothing ever is fed back internally and it doesn't ever appear on the roadmap. I mean, obviously, we can't provide everything that everyone asks for, but just thinking about this is their lived experience and how can we improve that or how can we support them with that, I think is really vital. I think some platforms are doing it really well, other platforms doing it less well. Some platforms just deny that they have young people on their platforms. And I think that is, definitely something that's going to be addressed with the Online Safety Act and the age appropriate design code and these other things now that they're really coming into force. I think there will be a lot more pressure, rightfully, on platforms to consider the rights of children. And as I say, it's an area I'm super passionate about. So I'm very happy that we're kind of really involved in that. And there's still more that we want to do. Well, I'm a huge fan of the summit. Thoroughly enjoyed last year, so I have high expectations. It's always great to network with like-minded people. I think it's going to be interesting now, a year on from when the Online Safety Act was not even kind of completely, launched. It hadn't rolled out. So hearing from platforms sharing best practices, where the pain points have been, where we've kind of, there's probably learning where some platforms are more advanced than others. So I think that's going to be really helpful to get some good takeaways and some good industry sharing, because it's a great, the conference was so good when it came to that piece last time. I know that some colleagues of mine are coming and speaking, so I'm really excited to hear them talking about youth engagement and law enforcement. But yeah, the agenda's looking fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it.